Public transport is supposed to take you home, but what if it takes you somewhere else entirely? Across Australia, there are buses that arrive without passengers, stops where invisible riders board, and digital displays that promise a bus that never comes. These are not ghost tours. These are real routes, real sightings, and real stories that still haunt late-night commuters. Tonight, we're uncovering the darkest legends of Australia's most haunted buses. Once you hear these stories, you may never wait at a bus stop alone again. 1. Urban folklore. Ghost passengers. Boarding late modern Australian legends. Long after midnight, when most of Brisbane slows to a quiet, almost breathless hum, and only stray headlights puncture the deep darkness, there's a whispered legend among city bus drivers and late-night commuters. It's a chilling tale of ghostly passengers that refuse to stay gone. This is the lore of the Phantom Rider, a presence tied not to a single vehicle, but to the lonely routes that creep into the forgotten dark corners of Australia's sprawling cities. In the everyday world, night service buses in cities like Brisbane or Adelaide ply familiar routes, empty streets, distant lights, and the rhythmic hum of engines. These services exist for night workers, revelers returning home, and ordinary people winding down their day. Ordinary until the sightings begin. According to numerous posts and first-hand claims on local message boards, a driver will pull up at a deserted stop, hear a bell, or sense someone waiting. When the doors open, no one is there. Yet as the bus departs, drivers swear they've seen a fleeting, shadowy movement from the corner of their eye. One driver described the distinct sensation of a cold presence on an empty seat, only to turn and see it vanish when the bus reached the next stop. In some retellings, passengers themselves recall boarding a late-night bus, only to notice something deeply unsettling. Seats that seem to shift under invisible weight. A faint, mournful voice, like a sigh in the back row, or the distant echo of footsteps that don't match the number of bodies aboard. At times, the stop bell rings on its own, a sharp, sudden sound that startles even the most seasoned commuters. When the doors open at the next stop, there's nothing but the glow of streetlights and the settling quiet of a deserted night. Though these stories lack official documentation, their persistence in local urban folklore and paranormal forums speaks to a collective fear and fascination with what may linger in the spaces between reality and myth as night deepens. What makes these ghost passenger tales so compelling isn't just the spectral sightings, it's the everyday setting. Buses are ordinary, familiar, and mundane, a shared, transient space we rarely think twice about. And when something seems off in such a common environment, it ripples through the community of late-night travelers, like a cold whisper on the back of the neck. 2. South Brisbane Cemetery bus sightings, where death meets transit. Imagine standing at a quiet bus stop just outside South Brisbane Cemetery, the sun long gone and the shadows thickening on the paths among ancient headstones. The air feels heavy in this place where thousands of souls have been laid to rest over more than a century, a crossroads of the living and the dead just steps from where buses trundle past. Before this place became linked with anything supernatural, it was simply a transit point for residents and night workers, a mundane part of Brisbane's transport network. But over time, as the city grew around this silent necropolis, a creepier narrative began to take shape. The cemetery itself holds a deep history of hauntings, strange lights, phantom figures, and the lasting echo of those buried within its grounds. Tales passed down locally tell of a lady in black, a spectral figure who wanders among the gravestones, mourning or searching for something lost. Another persistent phantom is the spectral flower girl, said to leave small floral tributes on graves that were untouched only hours before. These stories created a foundation of paranormal expectation. Then came the bus stop sightings, ordinary buses traveling along regular routes that passed the cemetery after the sun went down. Commuters began reporting strange occurrences. The bus would stop as though picking up a passenger late at night. The doors would open and close, yet when drivers checked the steps, no one was there. It was a mechanical ghost, performing an action for a passenger that simply didn't exist. Some riders climbing aboard from earlier stops later insisted they felt watched or sensed another presence who never spoke nor disembarked. Others claimed the interior temperature dropped sharply as they passed the cemetery gate. Brushes of cold air that seemed directed at particular seats, as if an unseen entity had just taken a spot beside them. One striking element is how these sightings tie into the cemetery's own eerie lore. Locals sometimes half-jokingly refer to this section of road as the meeting point between the living's commute and the cemetery's restless spirits, where the veil feels thin and passengers, both corporeal and otherwise, share the route for a brief, uneasy stretch. Whether it's the weight of the thousands buried nearby, or just the spooky ambiance that makes the hair stand on end, the accounts continue to circulate among commuters and restless ghost story fans alike, ensuring this route remains one of Brisbane's most haunted journeys. 1. The haunted Brisbane ghost bus, the one that's always on its way. At a busy busway station outside Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane, thousands of commuters pass every day. Students, nurses, office workers, grandparents catching an early bus, and night shift staff returning home. This station wasn't always steeped in superstition. It was simply a modern stop opened in 2009 to streamline city travel. But then something strange began to happen. Locals started whispering about the ghost bus that never arrives. A bus that, on the digital display board, always flashes as on its way, no matter how long you wait, day after day, month after month. For some, it was a perplexing traffic glitch, until people began talking about it as something more. The bus would appear on every timetable and on passenger GPS apps, always inching closer with an ETA that stayed fixed or seemed frozen in time, counting down and counting down again. Commuters waiting in the cool morning or late evening air found themselves glued to their screens. 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, then nothing. The supposed arrival was never seen. No engine sound, no headlights rolling up to the stop, just an eerie sense of expectancy that stretched out like a held breath. Some began to joke that they were waiting for a bus from the next world, linking it to the famous ghost stories of Brisbane's older cemeteries and haunted sites. What makes this ghost bus legend so compelling is that it's rooted in everyday commuter life. There's no fiery crash or tragic backstory that everyone knows, just the unsettling, creeping dread of watching a countdown on your screen that never resolves. It's a digital phantom where expectation turns to unease, and unease turns to fascination. For years now, on local paranormal lists and even reported in folklore summaries about haunted spots in Queensland, this ghost bus has become shorthand for a haunting that feels both absurdly modern and deeply uncanny, a glitch in the matrix of our daily routine. Some say these buses are just glitches. Others believe they're echoes of something that never finished its journey. So next time you're waiting late at night, watching the road in silence, and a bus appears on the screen but never arrives, ask yourself one question. Were you waiting for it? Or was it waiting for you? If you enjoyed these chilling stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the shadows still have more to reveal.